up on Sky News.
Yeah, there you are. He can't come in. He's always trying to get on Kerfuffle. Sorry, Chris. No room at the inn. No room at the inn, Chris. Right, tell him to sod off. Gentlemen, hello. How are you all here today?
Get out.
We're fine. We're being hounded by an influencer.
You can't afford this level of production, Mr. Watkins.
Tell you what, boys and girls, just listen to what these boys have got to say and you'll get more listings. Listen to Paul on because he'll get you the advert in front of people because he's the king of Facebook. And Simon Well is just basically the godchild of awesomeness and nothing else. That's really I'm going to.
What we're actually doing is we're doing a roast of Christopher Watkins. So that's
yeah, all four of you can have a go, but you still won't win.
Mirroring. This is freaking my head out.
No.
Okay, let's take it back to the series. Don't be distracted.
Okay.
If he wants to go on his treadmill in the background, that's fine. We're here today to talk about a really exciting tie-up, gents. So who's going to kick off then today to talk about the Property Video Club?
Exciting times.
Go on, Paul.
Come on,
Someone better. Yeah, no, really excited to be working with Chris and Matt from Property Video Solutions, where we were for a very long time thinking about doing this, and it was the fact that we had so many agents keep asking, is there a solution for this problem? And I think we decided that it's something we better do because the demand is there, agents are calling for it, and the solution is that they want video and they want Facebook adverts done for them, but they want them done correctly and they want them done in a powerful way, and that's exactly what we're trying to create here.
It's like Facebook and Apple merging. It's like two titans of the industry have said we're going to make this happen without all the tax dodging.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, so basically, just to follow on from Paul, look, we've run training. Paul's run training. You know, we've worked with agents for the last, 3, 4, 5 years, and the same problems came up time and time again. Pre-COVID, it was we're scared of getting in front of the camera, and we don't. Obviously, COVID's helped that a little bit. We don't want to get in front of the camera. We don't want to do our own content. For business owners, if they were looking at their broader team, they didn't want necessarily to be the face because they wanted their valuers to go out and do that stuff. But then there was concern around them building personal brand to a point and then effectively leaving them, which gives them a twofold gap. One, in terms of that goodwill and that sort of personal brand that's disappeared out of their organization. But secondly, someone who knows how to make that content for them. There was all of these sort of things where I haven't got the time to do it. I haven't got the skill to do it. I don't want to do it, but the need remains that without visual content, without film, photography, stuff that's relevant to their market, relevant to the local area, community-based stuff, they're missing a trick. And agents that are leveraging video content, as we've all said, Simon, you included, businesses that are leveraging video content are doing better because their online presence is online 24/7. So their customers can interact with them when they're not open, effectively.
Not just that though, is it? It's not just that, Chris. You've got scalability in there as well, haven't you? It's that ability to distribute in any digital fashion is what's so powerful about all of this.
Yeah, very much so. I was just going to jump in. Yeah, it ties off a few pain points, and like you said, Simon, it's a turnkey solution. It's all in one. It's off the shelf. It's for those business owners that have been in the game 20, 30 years and they know they need to do video. They just haven't got the time or the inclination, and they've actually got a bit of spare cash. So it's not going to be for everyone, and it's not a cheap product, but it wasn't designed to be like that. So it's
we're going to get rid of the proles. The proles, we're not interested in you. We're looking at quality here today. But I think and it isn't. I mean, look, you can do so much of this yourself, but like with everything, if you want the specialists, if you want the to concentrate on other things in your business, and let's face it, at the moment, who wouldn't want to have that? That's where this is just the perfect solution. I think what I love about this, and where I do get probably overly excited, is where I see businesses at of suppliers of any type, whether that's prop tech or traditional, where they work together is what agents want, isn't it? They love that fusion, that ability to do it, because straight away it takes that need to kind of cobble it together yourselves out of the equation, don't they? Yeah. And let's face it, you're going to cover far more of the issues and challenges than anyone else ever would do.
Well, that is the case, and like you said, we run training, Matt and I have run training, for years, helping people make their own content. And you can, just like in lockdown, you could cut your own hair, but everyone rushed back to the barbers as soon as they open. The reality is, okay, you can.
It's looking pretty normal. I like it.
The reality is you can do these things yourself. And we would always advocate, if you can, if you can make savings and do these things yourselves. But if you want a professional look and feel, regardless of what it is, whether it's finance, whether it's video, whether it's photography for your business, whether it's social media, whether it's the best valuer, whether it's the best, lettings manager, you're buying skill effectively.
Yeah, and let's just deal with that. I mean, for those, when I know you guys obviously particularly well, I've lucky enough to work with you both in a professional and partnership capacity, seeing many of the agents, many really great forward-thinking agents to you. For those people who aren't aware of you, that have been hidden away here, just give a bit of context how you are able to help them in your own individual areas. I know you've just briefly touched on it, but Paul, would you just give us just a bit of background again, where people find you? Obviously, get a very successful. Both of you got very successful Facebook clubs, but just give a bit more context to where you come from.
Yeah, no problem. So a lot of you probably already know that I've got a property background. So my family do own a estate agency and property business in south east of London, and that's where my Facebook lead generation came from. And now we work with at least sort of 200 to 300 agents across the country in various ways, either training or looking after their accounts, to generate Facebook leads and also help them understand the power of the platform. And it is so powerful, and I think it's a big trick that's being missed. It's a trick that can be easily achieved, but it's just knowing how to do it, and it is very complicated. That I'm quite geeky. I like all that, and it's something that I live and breathe for, and I want to be able to get the same results that a lot of agents are getting for other agents. So,
Paul, do you think agents that come on board with this now, are they still ahead of the curve? What I'm going to get to, there's going to be a point, isn't there, where we've kind of, we've all done it, so you're getting diminishing returns, but we're nowhere near that at the moment, are we? That
No, and I'll tell you why, because this is done at a hyper-local level. It is about hyper-local domination, effectively, where you've got your small area, your postcode, your patch, and it's very rare. Chris and me were talking about this the other day. How many agents in your area are actually doing video, and how many are actually doing that eBay and Amazon effect, where they watch one video and there you are every single day until they're ready and easy to reach out. So. Facebook costs have gone up, but it's still one of the cheapest forms of advertising and promotion. Where else can you show a bit of content and then keep showing content to someone who shows interest in that content? And pennies a video view is still achievable on the local.
There's TikTok, of course, Paul, but I haven't. If I'm honest, I haven't generated much business off what I do on TikTok yet.
There might not be the call for it in your gold hot pants, but on that, Simon, just on that point about early adoption of video content and actually social media, we're still at the very tip of the iceberg when it comes to estate agents leveraging video content in their business. And what you will see more increasingly, you will see agents who have had to use virtual tour during COVID, and they've continued to do that to let and to sell properties. The better agents or the higher end agents are using more cinematic stuff that is very presenter led and looks great, and there's companies like us around the UK making them high end sort of property tour. But what is missing and the gap in the market, and only a few of our clients you know, going back to what Paul said about, you know, where he's come from, you know, we work with, like Paul, hundreds of agents around the UK. We've trained maybe 1,000 agents now, you know, but of those 1,000, 70% aren't using their training to make video. So actually there's a huge gap. You also have to remember that, you know, there's around 18,000 or so letting and estate agents in the UK. I don't know how many branches that is, but I know that they're not all making video content. And if they are, they're very much making content that is what we call get video. There's two types. You either give content freely, advice, information, you know, stuff about your local area community, and then get videos, which are buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. Now, I don't care who you are. I did have one person in training said, I love being sold to, but most people don't. As human beings, we love buying stuff, Simon particularly, but we hate being sold to. We like to make our own minds up and our own decisions. And going back to what Paul said about that drip feed on Facebook, you know, you'll notice in your feeds, if you pay close attention, you'll be sort of redirected the same sort of adverts. If you've shown an interest, you'll get another ad for a Rolex, 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 until you go, do you know what? I'm going to buy myself a Rolex. And that's what it does. It's that niggle, that earworm that says, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me, but without saying, buy me, buy me, buy me, right? And that's where agents aren't leveraging video marketing as well as they potentially could do, you know, by giving information and advice and just general stuff about the market in their local area. Companies like, you know, like Dataloft, like Chris Watkin, like Jerry Lyons, who provide this great sort of holistic, you know, data and, you know, and blog content that just is attraction marketing. It draws people to you because they see you again and again and again. And that's where
I've heard of Dataloft. Who was the other fella? Chris Watkins?
He's a butcher.
Big in the game, mate.
So, guys, do you think that obviously digital and video was kind of, it had to be the main answer for the last year, though, but it's not like the need for it's going to disappear just because we're coming out of lockdown, are we? Because our behaviors are still relatively similar. There's so many of us, first of all, still working from home, but then again, in terms of the key times when you are literally at home in the evening and browsing for everything, that's still only going to increase. And dare I say it, because so many people have got much more used to platforms, you know, the favorite, what's it, the silver generation or whatever they are browsing there. It is just an ever increasing demand for it, isn't it?
It is. And one thing you know, you can see from that is, you know, platforms like TikTok, snackable video content. Instagram's even come out in the last couple of weeks saying they're no longer an image platform; they're actually viewed as a video platform. So they know that that people now don't want to sit there reading over and over and over again. They just want quick videos, quick valuable content, and video is the only solution. So most of the content going forward on social media is going to be video.
Somebody who knows a little bit about content as well. We have the fantastic Charlotte Jeffrey Campbell. Hello, Charlotte. Afternoon, chaps. The fantastic training platform. I always love this. Generic Facebook user. Paul Long is awesome on Facebook. I didn't even see you typing there, Paul. Well done.
It's amazing what VAs can do nowadays.
Thanks to Michelle.
Because of the format.
Thanks to Michelle there for typing that.
Going back to what Paul was saying though about that sort of snackable video content, which I like. I'm going to have thanks. All of the new and emerging platforms are video based. So you look, you know, you mentioned TikTok previously. Now, you know, the buyers. I don't think the buyers necessarily for you know, tenants maybe, but you know, buyers and sellers of property on there, you know, aren't really necessarily buying from TikTok at the moment. That's not to say that won't transition as you know, the demographic that uses that platform ages, you know, but all of the new emerging platforms are video based, and all of the existing platforms, as Paul mentioned, Instagram, Facebook, you know, they're all trying to push video content because it is so easily digestible, and quick, and quick. And everyone's under time pressure now. I mean, I find myself, and Matt finds himself, it was 2:00 and we were like, oh, it's 2:00 already. We need to get onto that Zoom call. And we, we're not
quite relaxed. I was relaxed about it, wasn't I, Paul? It's all right. You turn up when you want, guys.
Cheers.
Well, it doesn't work on Safari, that link, so we have to change over to Chrome.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But yeah, so you
do know we're live now having this argument, don't you? Just to be clear. Right, guys. So talk us through the offering to the agents, though. What are they actually going to get from this? We know obviously which bits you do and vice versa, but bang for their buck, what are they gonna get? I'm sure there's many people who are interested, but they probably want a bit of the detail.
Yeah, well, we start with the 3 green screen videos. It's on a monthly basis, rolling 6-month contract, and also we try and hyper localize, like Paul mentioned. The actual phrase is hyper local domination, because it doesn't matter what another agent's doing 30, 40, maybe 30 or 40 miles down the road, but an hour away, because those people, those clients, those Facebook users aren't seeing your feed. I mean, we always say this, but it's very easy to get caught up in the video world, in the estate agency world, that everyone's doing video, like you said, Simon, and it's just not true. It's just those that are engaged with video or seek to be better agents are seeing a lot of video because they are friends with other people that do this. Yeah. So like I say, it's 3 green screen presenter-led videos a month. There'll be 3 different types of articles every month. One will be mainly around your area, what's going on. There'll be some ONS stats in there. There'll also be some stuff that we get from HMRC. So we've got a professional article writer. They're very much like our research hero. So you'll be getting some really good quality content. It's a bit of a mix, I guess, between Jerry Lyons and Chris Watkins' type of articles, where some will be more stat heavy based for your potential landlords that are watching the videos, and others that are mainly sales based. Some softer stuff like not necessarily getting your home ready for a viewing, but that kind of vein of form. And then also, obviously Paul Long's involved, the king of Facebook. So he'll do an onboarding call and get all your details and basically run your advertising, the back end of your advertising campaign through him.
So you're going to work that through in the way that you do, Paul, to make sure that this gets delivered to the right audience?
Just to explain what we'll be doing with the videos is first of all, we'll sit down, we'll look at the actual postcodes and your patch as such. Where do you want those valuations? Where do you want people to see your videos? We're then going to be looking at the retargeting aspect, which means that anyone who's watching those videos will then see you each week, each time a new video comes out without fail. So we do that by behavioral actions such as watching a certain percentage of the videos. But also the last thing just to point out, which I think is just as powerful as people seeing for the first time, is we look at all the places on a digital level where people will be coming in touch with you. So that would be visiting your website, going to your Instagram account, going to your Facebook page, watching your videos. Those people will see these videos over and over again until they're ready to reach out. And that's the really, really powerful part.
In addition to those pieces, so we have presenters that are professional presenters that come to our studios. We record pieces, for each client that are then branded and localized for each individual client. And then in addition to the 3 pieces, which we're going to record 4. So there's one sales article, one lettings article, one property lifestyle article, and one general lifestyle article that's about current affairs or the market or whatever it might be, something that's topical now. And then 3 animated stat visuals as well, so that they get something that's highly engaging. Animated content's sort of proven to grab people's attention within 0.2 of a second. So it mixes up that content. So you get that's a bit of a mix between professional presenter, localized and branded to your agency, plus some stat as well, animations. So they get 6 or 7 pieces. If they're a letting and sales office, we'll probably just give them both and let them have the choice or whatever. But we need to be mindful that some are let only, some are sales only. So yeah, but the idea is that they get a nice chunk of content every month that keeps their channels moving. And then Paul, Facebook genius, can just effectively continue pushing them to the right markets.
But here's the thing, isn't it, guys? I mean, you're essentially putting your heads on the block, and this is both the wonder and it's not a risk, is it? But it's just the measurability of digital, especially with what you're doing, Paul, isn't it? I mean, it is there in black and white whether this is working or not, isn't it? Which is fantastic. You need to put the time, energy, and everything else. But I can, again, I can't exactly take my neutral hat off here because I'm totally biased. I've seen what you've been able to do with us and our audience, and if anyone's watching this today, they know because Paul probably helped us find you. That sounds a bit like Taken, but it wasn't meant to be.
Well, we've been testing this with Paul's family agency and another guy in Grantham for the last couple of months.
I was going to ask about whether you tested it.
Yeah, so I mean, what good product doesn't get tested first? So we started pre-summer, and like Paul mentioned at the start of the call, we've been circling around this idea as you know, together as two businesses for at least a couple of years now, and it wasn't the right time, or this, that, and the other, and now is the right time. But I mean, I don't know whether Paul, I don't want to throw you under the bus, Paul, but Paul had some interesting stats of sort of like, you know, what the videos were doing sort of when they got run through an actual real life agency. So, and we were quite bolstered by the results, actually.
Yeah, no, they were really good. Well, one of the things we look at is costs per through play, which in a nutshell means, you know, how many people are watching at least 15, 20 seconds of the videos we're putting out. And it was down to silly figures. You know, we're talking like 1p or 1 to 3p per through play, which is as low as you can pretty much get. And
just so I understand again, because I'm a bit of a thickie, I know you've tried to explain this 20 times, Paul, but that's because you'll get it because it's hyper relevant. Again, it's just so the cost comes down.
It is. So, you know, the ads that are going to be set up, and as they were in this case, to show only in that area, people that are living in that location. And in some cases, we're also using interest targeting to increase the chances of hitting people who are perhaps thinking of moving or are landlords. But it comes down to using content that's talking to the right people at the right time.
So just to jump in, I'm probably going ahead before the end, but so this could be for 1 or 2 levels, isn't it? It's for people actually who know that their stuff here, but are just actually busy anyway and want to do it. And then for those people who actually haven't put their toe in the water as well, isn't it? Both of those audience will really get a massive benefit out of this.
It's for everyone, really. So
that's another way of saying it, Chris. Thanks.
To be honest, it's for everyone, because if you are making content now, but it's all, this is a house I've got for let or for sale, then this is content that is wildly different to that. This is content that is going to bolster that buy from me content. If you're doing no video content at all, it will give you 7 pieces of content a month to keep your channels busy and full and drive people to you for video marketing. And if you're doing lots of video content, but it isn't necessarily local, hyper local stuff, or statistically based or stat based, or more broad, then it's for you as well. So it's not we designed it deliberately. Paul and Matt and I spent the better part of a year pulling it all together and trying to work out who is the client for this. And it's basically anyone who wants to really dominate their local market from a video marketing perspective and set them apart from all of their competitors.
Well, you had me at dominate anyway. I've been honestly, you've got to keep shouting that out, or it's just going to go west. Especially as so I guess you didn't just stumble on that number of bits of content. Does that feel to you that is the optimum level of content?
Yeah, we always say, Simon, that because often people, we had a thing there's a great Martin & Co agent in Leamington Spa, Sean Driscoll, if he's watching. But we made him like a love film. So it was all very much place marketing. So he interviewed the local butcher, baker, candlestick maker, and he was very much the only agent in the film. So he was, perceived to be the local expert. And we said to him, "Oh, Sean, how's the film doing?" And this was maybe 2-3 years ago. Well, probably 3-4 years ago, actually. When everyone was, intrigued as to how many views a video has had, whereas, the currency is now shares and, comments and actual engagement. And he said, "Oh, I've only posted it once." And we were like, "Why?" And he said, "Oh, I didn't want to annoy people in Leamington Spa by posting the same video every time." And we were like, "Sean, not everyone in Leamington Spa is on the internet at the same time. Someone could be on holiday one week." So that general reposting of content is so And we had someone in our 8 Video Agency Facebook group that asked, when shall I post? And we were like, all the time, because if someone's already seen it, it won't annoy them. They'll just scroll past it. And if someone hasn't seen it, then boom, you're in with a shout of catching their ears and eyeballs.
We were talking to Peter Knight the other day, and he was talking about just at the point you feel like you're massively annoying people is probably the first time it's actually starting to sink in as well.
That's right. Well, if you look at some of the biggest marketeers in the world, Grant Cardone, Gary Vee, Jordan Belfort, you know, they've got teams of people posting 80 to 100 bits of content across all their platforms daily. So, you know, you cannot saturate your market with a few videos. But going back to the initial question, why did we choose 4 pieces and then 3? So 4 green screen pieces. So you've effectively got 1 a week on a monthly cycle, and then 3 bits of animation content. So you've got, you know, them in between times effectively. So you post an article, back end of the week you post an animation, start of the week you post an article, back end of the week an animation, post an article, back end of the week of animation, then post an article, and then you get a month cycle before you get your next set. So that seven sort of pieces of content allows you, you know, 4 weeks effectively of good quality and good looking content in that month-on-month cycle. That's why 7.
Wow. Okay, cool. We'll just read out a couple of things, getting some more feedback in as well. Charlotte just followed up to say, I think the key is educating your customer via the contents. I think anyone disagree with that. Who was that fella you mentioned earlier? This he's jumped up again. Christopher Watkin, I think it is.
Yeah, some sort of influencer.
Matches spot, and I think we can all accept that that's a real key bit of genius there. Thank you again, whoever you are, Mr. Watkin. Oh, spot on. It looks like you got your first deal here. I think, is that Tom Hardy? No, it's Stephen Bearcock. Stephen, and take my money. So absolutely fun.
With pleasure, Steve.
So before we get to that stage, let's build a bit of the tension. Ooh. You've kind of done that negotiation piece where you've obviously told me it's not cheap, and so now I'm sort of wondering
it depends what you classify as cheap. Okay, so if you've got
15 grand for a night in Vegas, where are we on that?
Cheap, mate. Cheap. No, so Paul and Matt and I sat down and we actually worked out. So if you were going to have a company make them for yourself, what would the cost be? And it was, well, we know because we do it. And then we thought, well, we've got our cost and we've got Paul's cost. And then how do we rationalize that? So what we did was we put it all in the pot, mixed it all around, and then halved it. And then got down to a point where we said, we can do it for £995 a month, and that includes £100. Is it £100, Paul? About £80.
Yes. Yeah,
£100 of Facebook advertising in there, right? So it's complete. So there's no hidden cost or you know, that's the cost plus then you've got to pay your advertising plus you've got to do this, that, and the other. That's it. So that was the figure. So the reason we got to that was if you knock £100 off, it's £895, and then it costs about just over £100 per piece of article. Now, if you can get yourself this video content made, it was under £100 a piece of article because we've got Paul's time in terms of the optimization and the social side, right? So you know, it works out about £75 a video plus then the optimization plus your advertising included.
Well, look, video done right can't be cheap, can it? And you know, you're getting. And here's the key point about everything is, you know, I've always said the skill to what's brilliant about this is there are other social media experts out there. There are local video guys here. But in the same way that the website providers always stay away from the local guy, because you will waste an eternity waiting for them to catch up to speed with what the relevance of and property and everything. You guys get it. You can suggest, you can be creative, and that's where the value really comes in here, isn't it? And anyway, and anyone who's ever gone out and hired some video guys will know you can pretty much do that in a day with most businesses as well. So that's you know, it's not cheap. Doing it right, isn't it?
It's not crazy expensive either. It's that sort of middle ground where you're getting a complete solution, turnkey. You know, all you do is sign up for 6 months, and then your content doesn't even come to you necessarily if you don't want it to. It just goes out on your Facebook channels. I mean, we would advise that we send you the content as well, so you've got it on your systems, and actually work. You know, and you want to put them on your YouTube, and you want to put them on your, you know, on your LinkedIn as well. You know, so you get that broader brush social coverage. But ostensibly, buyers, you know, your buyers and Facebook are intrinsically linked, right? You know, and that's really important. So, and we can effectively go from top to bottom. You know, do the deal on the top. We make we get the presenter in. We build the content. We edit it up. You know, we send the content to Paul. Paul does the social media. It goes on all their channels, and they optimize, and then all your views come. You know, you don't have to worry about someone leaving you. You don't have to worry about making it. You don't have to worry about sourcing the content. You don't have to worry about editing. You don't have to worry about lighting. You don't have to worry about Facebook. You don't have to worry about paying for your advertising, running your campaigns. Nothing. Literally nothing. It's a complete...
Oh, I don't have to worry about anything. Is that what you're saying, Chris?
Well, I mean, I would worry about those gold hot pants, but...
So... it just gives me the opportunity to talk about hyperlocal domination, which I've been desperate to do after you lot have been saying it. But I suppose the key point about this is that you can't be offering this to multiple people down the same high street, can you? So are you going to work on postcode exclusivity? How's it working?
Yes. Good question, and yes, that's the answer.
That is the answer. Yeah.
Stephen Beacott just said, is it exclusive one agent?
It's to one agent per area. Yeah. I mean, look, you know, at effectively £1,000 a month, you know, plus the VAT. I mean, everyone's VAT registered anyway, so it's irrelevant. But effectively at £1,000 a month.
You've got to be what? VAT registered since what? Oh, sorry. Ring me after.
But no, effectively, you know, there are going to be some agents that are put off by that. But actually, if you work out what they're getting for their money, it's pretty cost effective overall. But
have you broken it down yet? Do you know what that level of postcode exclusivity will be? Is it just per, what do they call it, sector or whatever else, or is it per town? Or
I mean, look, in smaller towns, like we're based in Grantham in the Midlands, as you know, there's an NG31 and an NG32 postcode. Yeah. I probably wouldn't sell into an NG32 if there was an NG31. I don't think that would be fair because of the population split. Yes, but in London,
major cities.
In London,
essentially, you won't let it become where it's an issue, is it? You're not going to have
because it's not going to help anyone. The idea is that it's not supposed to be for everyone. You know, we want to help as many people as we can, but there is no sense, you know, treading on someone else's toes when they're giving you their business, they're giving you their trust, they're giving you the opportunity to help them grow their business. You know, you should. We believe, all three of us believe, that we should repay that, you know, by being sensible about that sort of postcode and that sort of proximity to to each other.
Yeah, and then create Property Video Club 2, and then you can sell it to all those people. Anyway, that's another deal we'll come up with afterwards. Charlotte jumps in again just to say, I know how much it costs to make good video. That's a fantastic deal. And yes, Stephen has liked what he's heard. Can you get them to call me? Certainly will, Stephen. No problem at all on that front. So that's really, I mean, it does sound really interesting, guys. And more importantly, I want to obviously hear from your clients down the road as well in terms of there. But just in terms of, I believe as well, we're going to be obviously getting people who are watching here today. And obviously we're going to be getting it out to our Kerfuffle audience as well. You've also, I think, set just to make sure you're giving really high level of service. You're setting a scarcity level just for the first month or two. To 10
we're only working. We're going to work with 20 agents for the time being, because we want to work with the first 20 to really make it perfect and sick. Because until we get 8-10 agents doing. Signed up and doing, we've been doing sort of one or two. We need to get the mechanics right. So for the first 10 people that sign up, we're doing it 795.
Ooh, so they're going to get a bit of extra love as well. I mean, that's not a bonus, but I just mean in terms of customer care,
still including that £100 worth of advertising spend. So 795, and that's for the first 10, because obviously early adopters, we need to test it. They'll be aware that, that there might be a teething problem here or there, but we want to, thank them for their support and also, their trust.
Cool.
And that price will stay forever for them.
Oh, okay. Well, you've heard it here. Kerfuffle exclusive again. I'm having that. That's a fantastic service, guys. Really, really good. I mean, it's great at the top level one there, but that's a really rounded professional service. And I just don't know which sort of agency can't. If you're doing this yourself well and you've got enough hours in the day, fantastic. But if you've got an appetite to be doing it professionally and to save yourself some time, you can't find a better pair of businesses to work. Well, I haven't seen them yet, anyway. In this industry,
they don't exist.
They don't exist. Go have a look. I mean, as usual, I always say, make sure you have a look at both of these guys' landing pages on the big pink site on Kerfuffle there. See again the sort of quality of agents that deal with them there. This is not one of those difficult ones where sometimes choosing a supplier is a step into the dark. Not just on Kerfuffle. There's another little website called Facebook where you can see them all shouting about how good you guys are. I think it's brilliant, guys. Really, really, really good. Anything to add to it? Anything I've missed?
No, but I mean, the website's now live. So www.propvideoclub.co.uk. So all of the detail about what's included. There's a downloadable pack if you want to show it to your MD. There's all the information's on there, all the contact information. There's a contact form if you want us to give you a call back.
A couple of examples.
Some examples of content on there as well. So it's a fully built and rounded out website again that Paul and Matt and I have spent a good 6 months putting together. So.
Lovely jubbly. Great, guys. Fantastic there. Well, look, thanks to everyone who's watched today. Feedback are forward on Stephen's details due, it sounds like. Yeah, that's great. You've only got 19 spots left now. So, and Gent's really good. As I said, it goes without saying. I think it sounds a really innovative solution for solving a real problem rather than some of the imaginary ones that sometimes take place in this industry. Yeah. So, today, I'll leave it there, but do come back to us, give us obviously feedback how that's developing down the line as well.
We'll do.
Thanks for your time, Simon. Cheers, mate.
Have a great one. Cheerio. Have a great week, everybody.